There it is. Let's see if we can get that bright. All right. What's happening? Welcome to my LPU chat. I am here at my home studio. It's hard to get a feel for that right now from where you're looking, but it is what it is. Today we're going to answer some questions that you guys have, and by we I mean me, and hopefully have a good time. So let's just start taking some questions. I will try to answer the smarter questions today. So if you're paying attention and if you care, that means questions that aren't going to be related to when we're going to tour in your area, questions that aren't related to boxers or briefs, that kind of stuff. Today I'm going more for intelligent questions. We'll see how that goes. All right, so I'm going to scroll up. I'll try to read your names the best I can and do the best I can with that. Cody James Barnett says, Dave, give us a tour of your home studio. There's not that much to really see. We have over here a couple of things I use to write with and work with, just a couple guitars to pull off the wall when and if we need them. And over here, sorry if it's making, just got our standard Pro Tools set up, little chord keyboard, etc., and some rack mount stuff down here. Just some guitar and bass effects, some compressors, simple stuff, mostly just a writing space, not so much recording, but just getting ideas down. All right. Again, I know a lot of you guys had already been asking the questions, but if you're asking me when things are coming out, when we're touring your area, I don't know. So you're just kind of wasting your time. I don't know when our new single is coming out. We're just starting to write, so I don't know when the new record's coming out. I don't know when I'm going to be touring your area. Daria Levitskaya asks, Phoenix, did you try on those LP boots? I have tried on the boots, but I tried on a pair that were 2 sizes too big, so I can't give you a very adequate idea of how those fit. A lot of people asking, how am I? I am well, thank you. Street Soldier asks, what advice would I give to a starting musician? It's a good question, and I think we actually get asked that quite a bit. If you're starting as a musician, as opposed to starting a band, there's kind of 2 different things there. If you're starting as a musician, the best thing you can do is be patient on your instrument. Make sure you're practicing it every day. What I really found was helpful for me in learning guitar and bass was I didn't use my case, as silly as that sounds. I didn't put the instrument away in the case. Instead, if you have a stand or some way to have it out, it makes it that much easier for you to be able to play it and play it more often. So whether it's in your room, whatever, have your instrument, guitar, bass, violin, whatever it is. If it's protected, keep it out of the case so that it's easier for you to play. And then play it as much as you possibly can to become as good as you possibly can on it. All right. Say Jane Olsen. Sorry if I butchered your screen name. What got you into music? For me, I think the easiest way that I remember as far as what got me interested in playing music was that my older brother had started playing, and I was probably six, I think 6 years old at the time, and he had started playing cello, so I thought that was pretty fun, and I liked to do a lot of different stuff that he was doing. The cello was a little bit too big for me at that age, so I started playing violin, and that was the beginning of that, and then it kind of transitioned from there. Okay, scroll down a little bit. This is me scrolling down through a whole lot of people saying things that don't make sense. Alright, let's scroll down a lot. Ness asks, have you ever considered joining another band? I've played in other bands. I don't think of bands necessarily though as something that you join or not. I think for me, if it was another band, it'd probably be another band that I would have to start. I wouldn't see myself joining one. Not really how it works so much. But having said that, I don't think I'd want to play in a different or another band. I think we're really fortunate that the six of us are good friends in addition to doing the band thing, and I'm not good friends with a lot of other musicians, so I can't think of a lot of other people I'd like to do it with. So the easy answer would probably be no. Sebastian Vink says, "Are you exhausted after a whole tour?" For me, in particular, there's components of the tour that get tiring. Definitely the travel, and we try to keep a pretty busy schedule on top of that, so it can wear you down a little bit. But the job itself, as far as playing music, is awesome, and it's one I think that I feel very fortunate to have and be able to do. And I don't mind being tired doing something that I love doing. So by the end of the touring cycle, I think we're definitely ready to get back into the creative segment of what we do. We're ready to get back into the studio and go into that mode. But it's a good thing. It's a good switch. Sophic asks, why is your beard red? I get that question a lot. It's not a geneticist or a genetics expert, but something to do with DNA. Okay, I'm going to skip more to current time. Okay, we're up to current speed. Lee writes, how many tattoos do you have? I have a lot. They're very small. People call them freckles. Okay. Sorry, I'm just trying to scroll to find questions to answer, not just random statements that you guys are making. I am trying to read what you've written though. Oh, Doken asks, what about the soundtrack of the Mall? The soundtrack for Mall, for those of you guys who don't know, Joe uh, directed and produced a movie. It's called Mall, um, and it's great. And we are currently working on not only the soundtrack for it, but also the score for the movie itself. And so that's a different type of project for us. It's so there's a learning curve. There's a process for us to figure out how to incorporate sounds and music into the film itself, and not just having a song that we've written and then placing it over top, but actually writing segments and writing pieces of music that correspond and fit for the film and kind of help tell the story. So we've been working on that, and we're going to be continuing to work on that quite a bit, and it's going well. It's a fun project, and it's definitely been challenging us. Who's gonna ask the best question today? That's that's my question. My question to you: who's gonna ask the best question? Kamiko, did you enjoy the UFC in Rio when you were in Brazil? Very much so. That was it was a lot of fun. I'm a big Anderson Silva fan. Um, I like the UFC quite a bit. I've been following it. I followed it at the early stages, maybe 20 years ago, and then kind of had lost track of it for maybe 10. In the last 10 years or so, I've been a big fan of following the UFC quite a bit. So any chance I get, I like to go to the fights. I like the aspect of watching the fights live and getting to see it in Rio, um, in Brazil was awesome. Really really fun. One of my bucket list things was to get to see Anderson fight in Brazil. And that was great. Salvador Jaime Z or Jamie Z asks, "Do you have any tips for starting bands to get recognized?" Um, yeah, I mean, again, I guess it depends what your goals are with your band. I think it's more important um, for musicians and for bands in particular as they're starting out to figure out what they want to do, and so that everybody's on the same page. If it's really something you want to do as a career and everybody's on board with that, um, there is a lot that you're gonna have to do and that goes into it as far as getting your music out there. And the first thing I think you got to be doing is really concentrating on your songwriting. Um, that's what people are going to gravitate towards is whether you have songs or not. Whether they like the music that you're writing. Um, and then if you can perform it in a live setting, that's kind of I think, where people go from being interested to really becoming a fan of what you do, is in that live uh, setting. So you need to work first and foremost on your songwriting. You need to get your songs the best they can possibly be. I think a lot of bands fall into the trap of starting out and you write 5, 10 songs and you think like, oh cool, now I could go make an album. When realistically, at least for us, per album you've probably got to write 100 songs and you got to pick the best 10 or so out of that develop into becoming the best representations of what the idea is that you want to get across musically. And when I talk about songwriting, I'm not talking about lyrics. I think that's a common thing too that people have. If you're not a musician, especially, you tend to gravitate towards what's going on with the lyric writing, what's going on vocally. When I'm talking about songwriting, I'm more talking about what you're doing musically and melodically. Lyrics tend to, for us at least, lyrics will come later on in the process. They'll come once things are a little more, ideas are more fleshed out and further along in the process. Then you can kind of dive into that second part, which is getting your lyrics across and getting what you want to say with that put together. I don't know if that helps. You gotta have you gotta have music first, right? The music's gotta be there. Not for everybody, I guess some people don't, but that would be my suggestion. Nishan asks, who does the artwork for Living Things and the singles? We work with a couple different people and groups. Mike and Joe tend to oversee it quite a bit, but we've worked with the guy Frank Maddox for years as far as our packaging, presentation go, and layouts for the artwork. And then we work with a company called Ghost Town, who does a great job of pushing, especially a lot of the digital artwork. There's probably a lot of others that I'm not remembering to mention, but it's a good collective effort. And then Joe and Mike, in addition, are very solid visual artists, both in painting and in like graphic illustration, in those worlds to really be able to spearhead that effort. Carola asks, what was your birthday present for Rob? We don't really give each other birthday presents anymore, believe it or not. It's not commonly, at least. And so I haven't seen Rob yet since his birthday. I probably will see him in the next few days. Technically, I guess my birthday present to Rob was a text message that said "Happy Birthday, Rob." But I haven't seen him in a couple days, so there you go. Maybe I should ask you guys for suggestions on what you think I should get for a birthday present for Rob. What is my favorite book? What author, please? Definitely, it's not my favorite, but recently I've been reading, or not recently, but in the last couple of years, I've been reading through the Game of Thrones segment. I guess it's the Song of Fire and Ice. George Martin, I believe, is the author. They're big old thick books, and there's a bunch of them, so I kind of get into them off and on. But I've really enjoyed those. I think that my favorite types of books are the ones that create really vivid, imaginative worlds, and that the authors that do a good job with that are always my favorite. Is this chair comfortable? Great question, Gaz. I would say it's fairly comfortable. It's not my most favorite, but it doesn't have arms on it. Here, I'll zoom down a little bit. It doesn't have arms, so you can play a guitar while sitting in it. That's one of the key things for this chair that I do like. But you see me fidgeting a lot. It's probably because it's not the most comfortable chair in the world. All right. A lot of you guys have asked about Australia coming up and New Zealand. We do have those tours coming up, and I'm definitely looking forward to those. I love being down in Australia. It's one of my favorite places to be. So it should be fun. Should be a lot of fun. And were I not to live in Southern California, where I am now, I think Australia would be a very nice alternative. Okay. Let's catch up here a little bit. Oh goodness. I hope you guys can see all these questions too as they're coming. It's just chaos. Oh. Do I have a lucky number in Skeleton Crew? I don't know. 8? Somebody was just banned. Do I like Mexico? Or did I like Mexico when I visited it? Of course. Can you sign one song for us? I assume that was supposed to be sing. No. Janine asks, would you ever go to space? I assume you don't mean for touring, but I'm only assuming that. Touring in space would be difficult. The lack of oxygen would create an inability for sound to travel. So, barring that hurdle, as far as touring goes, would I ever go to space myself or personally? I would say yes. I would love to go to space. Spring asks, can you play violin? The answer is yes. I can play violin. Christina asks, did you watch the last Manchester United game? I'm not 100% sure. If you're talking about the one that was on, yeah, I'm not sure. They record, so I usually watch them a little bit late in my house. I think I do have a couple recorded that I'm behind, so probably not. Again, I apologize for those of you who are watching this that are expecting something amazing to happen. I don't think anything amazing is going to happen. I could just make faces at you. What's your favorite LPU demo? Oh, hmm. Oh boy. Someone asks if I have children. The answer is yes. Don't talk about them a lot, but they're awesome. There you go. Lara asks, do I like soccer? I like soccer a bunch. I always get yelled at for calling it soccer. That's what it's called here in the U.S. Believe it or not, football is called soccer. Say football in the U.S., then you're talking about football, which is different than soccer in the U.S. It's not anything crazy, but there you go. Let me go down to the live moments here and see what you guys are writing as we go. Why don't you like to play easier to run? Says Mary Bennington, apparently a relative of Chester. That's one thing. I gotta say this. This isn't about you in particular, Mary, but I've commented on it a little bit on Twitter. If you follow me on Twitter, you may have seen it. I don't understand when people use a last name that isn't their own, as if it's like, I'm Mary Shinoda, or I'm Janie Borden, LP. It's kind of weird. I think that would be weird even if I wasn't talking about Linkin Park. If we removed it and I was talking online to somebody who I didn't know or didn't have any relationship with other than just online, and I saw that their last name was, I am David Jolie, if that's not your real name and you're just doing that because you like Angelina Jolie, it kind of weird me out. I think a little bit. I wouldn't be scared of you. It wouldn't feel threatened, but so it goes. Now there's going to be a whole bunch of people who are really upset with me because of their Twitter name or their screen names. Jasmine asked, do you like surfing? I love surfing. I grew up surfing. Unfortunately, I haven't surfed enough consistently where I'm any good, but I do really enjoy it. I'm good enough to have fun doing it, but not good enough to really do much more. Victoria Lebedeva says Dave Pitt. See, there you go. I don't know why. I don't know why I get so many comparisons to Brad Pitt, but I guess it's not a bad thing. Ruben 1, playing with a pick or not? What do you think is best? Very specific bass question. And you guys are bass players out there. I don't think it's good or bad. I do a little bit of both. I think it depends on what tone you're going for out of a bass. Same thing goes with a guitar. You can play a guitar with finger picking. You can play it with a pick. You can play it with your teeth. You can play it with a violin bow. Play it however you want. It's kind of the beauty of especially rock music is you can do whatever you want to get the sound that you're going for. So if you play a bass and you are going for a sound that sounds a little more driving, then a pick's going to be the way to go. If you want something that's a little more, I guess, muted or a little more jazz, play with your fingers. Just depends on the sound you're going for. Mania. Do I prefer Dave or Phoenix? Weird question, but still. I actually, at this stage, Dave and David to me are the same as like David or Dave and Phoenix. I don't hear a difference that much when I hear them. Or even Farrell. Some people call me Farrell. It's my last name. So I don't know. It's just something I guess I'm used to. I don't prefer one over the other. Spring asks, do I like Shinoda like my surname? Assuming that would actually be great. I should change my Twitter handle to Dave Shinoda. That'd be amazing. Right. I am trying to. Okay. Courtney Hunter asks, do you feel more pressure writing music in 2013 than in 2000? I'm going to assume I know what you're asking. I like the question. Counter Hunter, sorry, not Courtney. I think I said Counter Hunter. It's very different, to be honest. Writing music now versus writing in 2000. Not in any way I feel like that's good or bad, but some of the stuff in 2000 that we were writing was more. It's just coming from a different place, and having a smaller audience in a lot of ways is different. I think early on when you're writing too, you don't really know if anybody's going to be listening to it or anyone's really going to care. And you haven't explored as many, at least for us, we hadn't explored as many different ways of writing or styles sonically. So it's not a pressure. I don't think we feel more pressure now. I think if anything, we feel a little bit freer. The pressure back then was almost like if you didn't do something that somebody liked, then that's going to be the end of you being a band. You kind of have like, you've got one chance to see if people like what you're doing. Whereas now I feel like the chains, there's no inhibitions as far as what we feel like we can write. It's just kind of, if we like it, then let's put it out and, hopefully other people will like it too. That's that's the point of releasing music, is that you hope other people like it. But by the same token, we can be a little more free, I think, with our songwriting and with how we're presenting ourselves. Does that make sense? Nick Linkin Park asks, "Did you ever get mad at a concert?" Yes, I think. There's been some different experiences. I don't know if you mean me going to see a concert or playing one. But yeah, I definitely gotten mad. Dario asks, "What do you think about Italy?" Love Italy. When I think about Italy, I think about great food and good soccer. Oh boy. All right, scrolling down the bottom. A couple more minutes here, people. Then we'll wrap this up. Get your best questions in. Have you seen any new movies lately? I've seen a bunch of movies lately. Let's see. Take a show. What question would you like to answer but you've never been asked? Skeleton Crew. That might be Skeleton Crew's second question. It's actually not a question. Questions that I'd like to answer that I've never been asked. I don't think I have one that I can think of, but I do like to answer questions that aren't necessarily about simple informational Linkin Park things. In a future reference or for your reference, were you to be asking a question, think of stuff. I like to answer questions that somebody couldn't have answered by just doing a Google search for it. Like, if you want to know when is Linkin Park touring in Brazil, you could type that into Google and you could see there's no tour dates. That would be a question I wouldn't want to answer. Now, if it's a question like Maggie Maggie Ziegenbein, what's my craziest experience in a show? There's a lot. I think I've seen a lot of crazy stuff. One of the craziest things I've seen was Chester break his wrist in the middle of a performance and then keep playing. That was actually in Australia. You could probably see that on YouTube, but he went to jump off a riser. His foot got stuck on the bottom edge of a stair, and it made him invert in the air. So instead of landing on his feet, he's coming down, landing sideways on his back, put his hand underneath him and snapped his wrist right in front of me. And it kind of, if you look at his arm, went here, then up, and then here. So it was kind of like a nice little 90-degree turn. And he just figured it was a good idea rather than canceling the show or postponing it. It's going to hurt anyway, so he just finished the show. It's pretty crazy. Anyway, moving on. Kit89 asks, "What about Flash Mob on Maxidrome 2012? Did you like?" I don't specifically remember what that was right now, but I probably did like, maybe not. Who knows? Would I ever consider doing a solo project from Jermaine? Probably not. No, I don't think I'd ever consider it. Not my thing. Ian says live from Texas, Phoenix, your ankle. Yes, I severely sprained it. Luckily, didn't break my ankle in that performance. That was the tour we were doing with Metallica at the time. We were playing in Dallas Stadium, and I think in the original edit that we were looking at, they put that footage of my ankle rolling in there, kind of like as a joke, and it just stayed in there, and so you could actually see that all going down. That was pretty. It was. I think it. I can't remember exactly how it came across on the Live in Texas DVD. I don't remember if it was made to look serious or made to look not serious, but that messed me up for a while. That ankle was pretty bad for a good chunk of time. All right, let's do a few more questions. And before I answer the last couple questions, I've seen a couple ask about meet and greets, different things like that, whether I like them. First of all, you guys, I assume, are all LPU, being that we're in the LPU chat room. And you guys are an awesome part of what we do. The underground for us has always been a special way for us to try to connect in a deeper way with with fans, with you guys that want to kind of know more of what's going on or be better connected with what the band's doing. And so certain things like that, I mean, just so you guys know, like that's something we definitely enjoy doing, and it's there because we want to do it. At times it's tough, at times it's tough to meet 100 people, in every day, especially if you're tired or worn out. It may come across at times that either I'm not into it or some of the guys are into it, but we wouldn't do it unless we really felt like it was important and that it was cool, and that it was a great way for us to kind of stay in touch with what's going on in the Linkin Park community. So all that just to say that the reason why we do those meet and greets, the reason why we try to keep in touch with the Linkin Park Underground is to know what's going on with you guys, to be able to meet you guys, and keep some of that one-to-one interaction in place. I think that's really important. It's important for us to know who you guys are and what you guys are into and what you're doing. And thank you guys for all your support. Without the support of what you guys are doing and people like you, we wouldn't be doing what we're doing. We'd be sitting down together, probably jamming and hanging out and doing some things here and there, but nothing like what we've been able to do over the last 10 plus years. So the LP is awesome, and thank you guys very much for your support. Let me see if there's any more questions here. There's tons of questions, but okay. Do I have pets? Yes. Come to Brazil again? Yes, we will. Hey, Ms. Rob, do you like this movie? Yes. I'm just going to rapid fire answer here. This is the finale. This is like the fireworks show. I don't know if I've used that before, but maybe I'm biting myself. It's like the end of the chat where I'm just like, so I'm just reading questions and answering them. Bam. Demon ZLP, can you say hello to Argentina? Hello, Argentina. Caroline DiGiorgio 2. Do you have any questions to us? Yes. Blah. No, I don't. I guess I don't have any questions for you guys. Yumi Shinoda. You can see it. Are you gonna change your screen name? Cup 2014 Brazil? Question mark. Does that mean World Cup? I don't know. Does that mean am I coming? Maybe. Probably not. Does that mean is Linkin Park coming? Probably not. Echo, can you read everything? Question mark. Does that mean music? Does that mean language? Music, yes. Albert Mudez, in 20 years, is he still rocking or producing? I don't know. 20 years, I will be 50 something. 50. I gotta figure out how old I am now first. Yeah, probably, hopefully still be playing music. Will you play? Someone asks. Yes. Dude, why did you take a snapshot? Brafsheen asks. I think I did it accidentally. I didn't really know that I did, but those who have noticed some pyro, we may be doing more pyro. Ivia asks, do you consider yourself a good-looking person? I consider myself a good person. I don't think about or worry too much about the looking part. Having said that, I don't consider myself a very good-looking person. I'm more of a personality type. Once you get to know me, you'll like me better. It's a horrible answer. Oh, have I ever made a bass by myself? No. Would I like to try it someday? Probably not. Keiru, good question. Just people talking about the snapshot. I think I was trying to press the scroll button and accidentally hit snapshot. There you go. That's the history on that. Ooh, Dimitri asks, why did I not see you in the One Step Closer video clip? Because I wasn't in the One Step Closer video clip. That's why you don't see me. Now, as far as the other videos, why you don't see me, ask Johan. Haha, a kid. Do I like cats? Yes, Nasty Abu. I do like cats. Who's my favorite bassist? Maria Nosa asks. Probably Paul McCartney. Mans, do I enjoy coming to South Africa? I loved it. I was very impressed with South Africa. I wanted to go there for a long time. Finally got to. Why don't you guys do the old artwork style? Asks Alex Ian Parker. Probably because it's old. I think for us, creatively, anything that feels old is, and I'm not just saying old for us, but old in general. I talk about that, I feel like, a lot when it comes to music. If you're really trying to be creative, then the essence of the word is to create. You're kind of moving away from maybe what you've already done, or what somebody else has already done. If you're genuinely trying to create, then you're trying to move away in some way, in a positive way. You're trying to move away from what's already been done. That's how I feel about it. The Nameless asks, why do I still play my broken bass on stage? Because it still works. Could I make a song by just using clicking noises? Thank you, Lizzie. I do make clicking noises sometimes, or any kind of noises when I'm doing dumb things, I guess, reading or concentrating. Can you play violin for us? Sven Thielen asks. I don't have a violin here right now, so no. Do you like Gangnam Style? The Dawn asks. I don't. Do I like it? The song? The dance? Sai? I think Sai is pretty awesome for making it in the US. I think that's cool. but I don't know him. I don't know any of his other music. I don't know a lot of K-pop. Okay, a couple more. Make them good ones, peeps. How's my family? They're doing great, thank you. They're like dancing, yes, at times. What are the difficulties you faced as a musician? I think just really starting out is the hardest part. You got to put the work in early. People don't or tend to not really think about that or recognize that, but you do. You gotta put the work in early. All right, 3 more. Is that okay with you guys? 3 more. Did I read 50 Shades of Grey? No, have not. Can you give us some advice to sing good? From Tom Chester. I don't feel like I sing very well, so I can do a backup vocal, but I think the best advice as far as anything like that goes is practice. Get some good training and practice. Why don't we have bass solos? Alexian Parker asks. Me being a bass player, to be brutally honest, I don't want to listen to bass solos. I don't know how to say it any simpler than that. I don't want to hear them. Nope, not gonna do the Gangnam Style dance. Thanks for asking. What do I think about Wikipedia? I don't think about it that much, but probably think about the same as I think about Encyclopedia Britannica. It's a good information resource. All right. Let's find a good finishing, good closing one. That's Nutcracker. Great closing question. Do you like dogs? From Nastia Boo. Yes, I do. Once again, thank you guys. LPU. Make sure you give Adam a tough time if you ever get a chance. It's always fun. Big shout out to Adam. All our people running the LPU over there. They do a great job. I think they do. And to you guys, thank you for being here today. And thank you for all your support. And I'll see you very soon.